Hi everybody. Today we will be discussing about the Ramanujan paradox. Now Ramanujan is an Indian mathematician who was a specialist in number theory, and many of his proofs and conjectures and paradoxes are still very popular, famous, and some of them are so much intensive that it really causes one's intellects to reach the extremities of cognition that one could possibly attain or one could possibly imagine. Okay, so much so about this great man, Mr. Ramanujan. Now, what he has given is, this is the paradox that he has given. According to him, this is an infinite series which is actually resulting in a quantity when summed up to negative 1 over 12. Now, is it really possible for an infinite series to be summed up and then it results in a quantity with a negative value in the front or with a negative sign in the front? And this value which you see here has got no such significance with the series itself. The series starts with 1 and then it is added to the corresponding quantity that are featured here, and then the resultant is apparently negative 1 over 12. So this is something out of the blue. Now imagine you got $1 and then to this $1 you're adding $2, and then to this you're adding $3, and then to this quantity you're adding $4, and then to this quantity you're adding $5. So what would ultimately be your visualization? At least if you are proceeding like this to 1000 terms, probably you would think yourself to be an affluent person, somebody to be rich, right? Now imagine somebody is giving you the option, okay, you can either stop here or you can go on forever, and whatever quantity that is being summed up, that belongs to you. So you can either take that option or you can write everything that belongs to you to the individual who's posing this particular question. So what would the choice be? Majority of the people would say, okay, let me go up until the term where I can reach, and their visualization would be to go on forever. And ultimately when you sum up, all that you're getting is a quantity which no bank would accept. Okay, so much so. Now the question is, of course you have the proof of Ramanujan's paradox being discussed in the social media, but what I found is that nobody is literally telling the reason for this. Why is it behaving in this fashion? Now, the most important point is to give the reason. This is important. But apparently, the videos which I saw is not really focusing on this. They are much more concerned how exactly this series is producing this value. So what I will do this discussion in two parts. First, I would start off in showing you how this series is resulting in this value negative 1 over 12, and then I will tell you the reason why is it behaving like this. Now for this I would start off with this particular series. So I'm just going to take, let S1 be equal to 1, negative 1, positive 1, negative 1, positive 1, negative 1, positive up until infinity. This is a series I'm taking. Now if I were to, let me just use this phrase, let us consider. Now, if I were to take 1 out and then write this as with the negative sign, I can always take a negative sign out, right? From these terms, I'm going to take a negative sign out. If I were to take a negative sign out, this is going to become 1, negative 1, positive 1, negative 1, positive 1, negative 1, positive, etc. up until infinity. So this is what I've got. Now, I have taken S1 to be 1, negative 1, positive 1, negative 1, so on up until infinity terms. Now you have to understand, in a series you can negate a finite number of quantities or you can add finite number of quantities, and that will have no effect on the series at all. That's exactly what I've done. I have actually taken one of the quantity out, but still I'm getting an infinite series. So what is this? This is nothing but my S1. So I can write that there. So 1 negative S1. On the left hand side I've got S1. Now if I were to move this S1 to the left, I would now have S1 positive S1 is equal to 1, which implies 2 times S1 is equal to 1. Therefore, S1 is equal to 1 over 2. Now you see here, this is again something magical. This is an infinite series, alternating series with plus 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1 occurring, and its sum is turning out to be 1 over 2. Unimaginable. Okay, now let me just consider another such series. Let us consider the next one, S2, to be equal to 1, negative 2, positive 3, negative 4, positive 5, negative 6, positive 7, etc. up until infinity. I want to sum this up. So what do you think the sum of this series would be? Now what I wish to do is, I would like to, from S1, I would like to take S2 out. This is an operation. I can as well as perform this operation. There is no harm in that. So what is my S1? My S1 is 1, negative 1, positive 1, negative 1, positive 1, etc. up until infinity, followed by this quantity 1, negative 2, positive 3, negative 4, positive 5, negative 6, plus etc. up to infinity. This is what I've got. Now what I wish to do is, I would like to club the terms in couples. So 1, negative 1, that's fine. I'm actually taking this with this, and then I will take this with this. So this is going to be, I'm going to place a positive sign, and I'm going to add negative 1 with negative, negative, positive 2, and then positive, and then I will club this with this. So this is going to be 1, this is going to be negative 3, and then I will add negative 1 with positive 4. Then I will add positive 1 with negative 5, and followed by positive sign, and then negative 1 with positive 6, plus etc. up to infinity. Now what is this? This is equal to, the first term vanishes, that's 0. Negative 1 added with 2 would give me 1. Negative 1 added with negative 3 is going to give me negative 2. So this is what I get. And then followed by negative 1 added with positive 4, that's going to be positive 3. And then positive 1 added with negative 5, that's going to be negative 4, followed by 5, negative 6, and then followed by 7, negative 8, plus etc. up to infinity. This is what would be the resultant. Now what I wish to do is, I would like to draw your focus to the original series which we took in the very first place. We have taken S2 to be this, right? So what is this? This is nothing but my S2. So substitute that. What do you got on the left hand side? You got S1 negative S2. So what I wish to do, I would like to push this S2 on the right side. So this would mean I have S1 is equal to S2 added with S2. So what is this going to be? This is going to be S1 is equal to S2 added with S2 is going to be 2 times S2. We need S2, right? So therefore S2 is equal to 1 over 2 times S1. But what is my S1? My S1 is 1 over 2. So substitute that. So this would mean S2 is equal to 1 over 2 times 1 over 2, which is going to be 1 over 4. So this would mean S2 is equal to 1 over 4. Can you believe that? The sum of the terms of this particular series is giving us 1 over 4. Now it's time for us to talk about the Ramanujan's series. So let me just consider, let us consider S3 to be equal to, what we got? 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, positive 5, plus up unto infinity. So this is what we have got. Now what I wish to do is, I would like to subtract S2 minus S3, right? S2 is this series. So let me write that series down. So this is going to be 1 minus 2, positive 3, negative 4, positive 5, negative 6, positive 7, plus etc. up until infinity, followed by a negative sign, and my series 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, positive 5, up unto infinity. So this is what we have got. So now club the first versus the first there. So 1 with 1 negative 1, and then you add a positive sign, and then followed by negative 2, and then negative 2, positive sign, 3, negative 3, positive sign, negative 4, positive sign, and then positive 5, negative 5, positive sign, and then negative 6, and then 7, negative 7, plus up onto infinity. This is what we are getting. So what is this? This vanishes. This is 0. What do you get? This is negative 4. This vanishes. What do you get? Negative 8. What do you get? This vanishes. This is going to be negative 12. What do you get? This vanishes. Followed by the next term. The next term would give me negative 8, negative 8. That's going to be negative 16. Right. Followed by another negative 20, negative 24, negative 28, and plus etc. up to infinity. This is what we get. Now what I wish to do, I would like to take a negative 4 out. So this is going to be 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, positive 5, positive 6, positive 7, etc. up onto infinity. But what is this? 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4 up onto etc. to infinity. This is nothing but our Ramanujan's series. So this is going to be S3. But what do you got on the left hand side? You have S2, negative S3. So move this quantity to the other end. So that would mean I got S2 is equal to negative 4 times S3, positive S3. So what is this? This is nothing but S2 is equal to negative 4 S3 added with positive S3. That's going to be negative S3 times S3. But we need S3. So this would mean my S3 is going to be 1 over 3 with a negative sign S2. But what is my S2? S2 is going to be 1 over 4. We've already found that. So substitute that. This is negative 1 over 3 times 1 over 4, which is equal to negative 1 over 12. So therefore, my S3 is negative 1 over 12. Okay, we have proved it. We have got the value for the series. Now the question is, why are we getting this? Why are we getting this? Why are we getting this? What is the reason? The reason is simple. Now I have taken S1. This is a divergent series. I have taken S2. This is a divergent series. Now I have taken S3. This is a divergent series. Now the all important what would I say? The bullseye point is that if you try to manipulate a divergent series, you will result in a paradox. That is the catch. So never try to manipulate a divergent series. If it is a divergent series, all respect has to be paid. If not, it will result in a paradox. Of course, to the majority, this would be something awesome, right? But there is an underlining point which people miss it out. And that is, if you take something which cannot be controlled and people try to manipulate and try to control it, then it will result in something which people will find really, you know what I mean. I hope you understood the point that I'm trying to stress here. Thank you everybody. Enjoy your night. Have a splendid time.